Hey guys, welcome back to the Velocity YouTube channel. My name is Tom and today we're standing in the showroom with what is an awesome Eruption Green Heritage K5 Blazer built by the team here at Velocity. This is a resto mod, but it is a classic K5 Blazer in its soul. And today we're going to walk you around it and talk to you about why we've built now, I think 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 of this configuration of vehicle. If you just peek that way, Aaron, and see what's hiding in the corner behind the black C10, yes, it's twin, and the reason for that we're going to come on to in a second. All right, so the secret to why we've built so many of these, I think, is obvious. It is just because this configuration of K5 with this paint color, with this scheme, does look absolutely fantastic. We have built now, I think the true number is 7 of this almost exact same spec. So Eruption Green, Frost White with the dark wood trim, and then with the seats in this kind of distressed brown leather, and it looks absolutely amazing. Let's start by talking about the paint like we normally do. Eruption Green, incredibly popular color. It is a dark, deep green metallic, but it has like an undertone of yellow in it. It's almost like a mossy green or a leafy green, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. The guys in the paint shop and then the guys in the detail shop who do all of our paint prep have done an absolutely incredible job on this K5, and the Eruption Green portion of it, because it's metallic, typically would reveal a lot of the imperfections in the paint, and there is none. This paint looks absolutely incredible. The contrasting color, or the accent color, is going to be Frost White, and so on the Chevy product it is much more of a true white for the contrast color, rather than on the Ford product that we do normally it's more of that creamy white, that bone white called Wimbledon white. So that's the paint color. Let's talk through the front of the truck. Of course, it is this generation of K5, and so it does come with what I like to call the cheese grater style grille. You can do a slightly later variant of this grille with the strap down the middle if you'd like, if you were building your own, but for this one we kept it cool, we kept it classic. You are going to notice as well that these look like old school halogen headlamps lights, but they're not. They are Holley Retro Bright brand new LED headlights, and what's really cool about these is they look old school, but actually they are modern in terms of their functionality, in terms of their brightness, and the fact that they're LED technology. So that's really nice. You do of course have the Chevy blue ribbon as well. That's really cool, and a chrome lower bumper. What you'll also notice if you're getting a little bit closer again, Aaron, is I like to point this out. This kind of lower valance bit here, this area here has been painted in that Frost White second kind of color. So just those little bits of detail are really, really nice. Things that you don't notice until you get close up and look at this truck. For this K5 and this Chevrolet, there's a couple of different options of hood. There's like the slant hood or the flat hood, and on this K5 we've gone for the flat hood, so you can see if you come on that angle, it doesn't slant this way, it's kind of nice and flat. Gives the truck a little bit more of a square feel, a bit more robust, a bit more rugged. Of course, it is a lifted 4x4 truck, so it kind of fits the mold. Right, let's talk about what makes this truck a Heritage Series vehicle. So we have our Signature Series and our Heritage Series, and the Heritage is like an upgraded version for the 4x4 trucks. And so on this K5, you get a lot of different aesthetic options when you go to that Heritage Series. The first thing, and one of my favorite things, is going to be the wheels. Those are a US Mag Scottsdale. They are really cool, very popular now on our K5 product and K10 product. We've done a couple of different trucks now with those, and I think they look absolutely fantastic on this particular truck. Now, if you're watching at home and thinking, I love this truck, Tom, but actually I do want the steely wheels with the white to match the Frost White of the insert, that is absolutely possible too. If you wanted to buy this truck and you wanted to switch those around, no problem, just give us a call and ask. But my personal preference is the US Mag Scottsdales. Why? Because they've got that kind of chrome finish that fits in with the trim, the billet, and they just look really cool. Let's talk about that billet. That comes again as part of that Heritage Series. So you've got billet side mirrors and billet door handles. These things are really, really cool. Why? Because they look very nice. Obviously, they're a very premium product. They give it a little bit more of a modern aesthetic, but also they are functional. This side mirror is a bit larger than would be the OEM, and also it removes a lot of that vibration. So a nice functional thing there too. And then the door handle is just a lot more solid. Tons more solid. Really, really nice compared to the OEM finish. So that's a nice upgrade. One thing on this truck that I noticed was we were prepping it and getting it ready and walking around is, this truck has like the best shutting doors of any truck we've ever built, and I almost want to like display it to you just because I'm kind of so blown away by it. Of course, the guys are always improving and getting better at everything, and not to say that the doors don't normally shut well, but in particular, listen to the noise of how this door shuts, and this is like the most little touch of pressure to get it to shut. Oh, dude, this door shuts so well, incredibly well made. Just that's the attention to detail, the gapping, getting everything sorted out. Really, really nice. Let's talk about this chrome trim. You've got it here and you've also got it at the lower. It's the kind of splitting thing that came on these classic Chevrolets. Really nice. And of course you've got that wooden inlay there as well as part of that detail. That's the final thing that comes on the exterior as part of that heritage package. All right, come around the back of the truck then and we can introduce you to the tailgate. Of course, it does have that two-tone paint in it as well. The frost white matched up with this absolutely awesome eruption green, which the light is hitting it particularly well right now, and the depth of the paint again is just insane. Another thing that is really cool is going to be this tailgate handle. So this is another one of those billet pieces that we make in-house, and what's really nice about this is if you see the rear view camera is actually integrated into that handle. So really nice. It doesn't look cheap. It looks like it's been purpose built, which of course it has, but to look as OEM as possible, which is fantastic. You do have the wooden grain dropped in as well with the Chevrolet badging, which is nice, and the Velocity Build badge too, as well as a matching rear chrome bumper, LED lights for your brake lights and your indicator lights as well, which is nice, and that chrome trim comes all the way around the tailgate too. Drop it down, you can see the load area, and like I always say on these K5s, there's just that much more space compared to a Bronco. So if you are somebody with a family or you got more people that you're going to be regularly transporting in a vehicle like this, the K5 might be the way to go, just because you do get that extra load area space. Talk about this leather really quickly, and we're going to get into it more in the interior, but just the back of the tailgate has been finished with this panel that's really nice. This is called Canyon. It's a distressed kind of slightly gray, slightly brown leather, but looks absolutely fantastic in this truck. And then you also have a matching carpet too. All right, before we talk about the interior, let's quickly talk about the 6-point cage. Sometimes I don't talk about the cages, and somebody left a comment saying, hey, the cage is a pretty important thing. Can you talk about that? So yes, on the K5s, you do get, as always, as standard, a full family 6-point cage. And on top of that is the Safari top matched in the right material, so the colorway all works. The really cool thing about the Safari top is if you look closely, you can see there's actually poppers all the way around, so you can fully remove the Safari top if you want to. If you want to be completely open air, you could do that, and then you can put it back on really easily. And we make these, so every single one of these tops is made to each one of the roll cages, which is made to each one of the vehicles. So these are not mass produced, they are handmade here in Pensacola, Florida, to match each other perfectly, which in the case of the Safari top removes that flapping that you sometimes get in more standard tops. You want that top to be nice and taut so that as you're driving along, it's not flapping in the wind. The only way to do that is custom fabricated. So anyway, that's enough about the top. Let's move on to the interior, and I will stop talking for a second so you can take it in, because it looks brilliant. Really, really, really nice. I lied a little bit. Most of the trucks before this one have been an absolute touch darker leather, but I love this Canyon. It just looks fantastic. It works really, really well. Let's start by talking through the door panel. And yes, you're going to notice this is not an OEM or standard door panel for a K5 Blazer. It is completely custom fabricated and made here, designed by our engineers and then built by the guys in our trim shop, and it looks fantastic. We'll walk through it. You're going to notice 3 different materials that come into the interior. First is the Canyon leather. The second is that Canyon style carpet we talked about, that matching color carpet. And then you've got almost this kind of textile fabric, which is just a shade difference, but really brings a kind of modern, plush, nice, soft touch feel and a little bit of extra depth to the interior, and that's featured in a couple of other places as well. That's really nice. Also really nice is going to be the billet handle. That's the inside door handle, also acts as a little bit of an armrest. It is cushioned and topped with that leather as well, so that's really cool. And then you do have the billet door release as well. Now, what you were thinking is, Tom, where is the window regulator? Because I know you have those fancy electric windows that look old. Well, actually, on the Chevrolet products, in the K5 with the center console, we'll show you in a second, the window regulators, the switches for your electric windows go into the center console, so they're not here. What is here is a focal speaker system. This is again a completely custom piece as part of that door panel behind there. It looks to be a tweeter and a mid speaker, but really, really nice, super premium audio system. We'll talk about that more in a second too. Jumping in the vehicle is easy, and I'm about to jump in without grabbing, but look, I can grab onto here, I can grab onto here, so getting in the truck is super, super easy. And again, thanks to that amp powered step that works on a pin, so when you shut the door, up it comes, and then when you open the door again to get out, down it drops. That's really, really nice option. Right. Let's talk about this steering wheel and the actual seating position, everything that's in front of me as the driver. Steering wheel to start. This is a Spark Industries custom billet steering wheel made specifically for us in partnership design with Velocity. It looks amazing. I always talk about them in the videos. This one's got a slight contrast stitch just to kind of come with that Canyon interior, but it's just got a little bit of a lighter stitch. It actually matches more that textile fabric material that we mentioned earlier, but very premium, feels really nice. It's grooved at the back. Very, very nice option. Behind that is going to be a fully adjustable steering column. Really, really fantastic. Now the steering column has also been painted in that eruption green color. That looks absolutely fantastic as well. Just wraps the interior together, really that extra level of detail. You'll see a lot of people that will just buy this steering column. It's by a company called I Did It, and it normally comes powder coated black, and they will just leave it powder coated black. They will just literally, you know, leave it, and it kind of makes it look unfinished. But in this sort of level of product with the Heritage series, you get that too, which is really nice. Behind that is a Dakota digital dash, so brand new digital instrument cluster made to look like the old school Chevy cluster. Now the cool thing is, here on the left and here on the right, I've got two small screens. Those screens will give me some extra information, like live miles per hour if I'm driving, remaining fuel, trip mileage. You can have your odometer on there. You can have all sorts of different things, including if there was a warning or a dash or a light or something that you needed to know about, or a service requirement, things like that. It pops up there too. So really cool. We love those guys' products. We use them in all of our vehicles. You also, this instrument cluster, as we finished in, we mentioned it earlier on the exterior of the vehicle, but this wooden trim, this wood grain, really, really nice. Just gives it that extra depth that you would expect to see in a Chevy of this era. All right, let's talk about these seats really quickly. These are the classic low back seat that we fit in most of our K5s. Now, if you did want to go to a full back with headrest Recaro seat, you could do that. But again, in the theme of the fact that we've sold a number of these vehicles now, almost all of them have had just this low back configuration. I think the reason for that is this low back seat looks really classic. We do get some people that will ring in and say, hey, I want the higher back seat with the headrest. That's okay, you can do that, but most people are asking specifically, hey, with the K5, does it have the really classic low back seats? And yes, this one does. You do also have, as well as an upgrade as part of that Heritage series, you do have this plaid stitch. It's like the upgraded version of our double diamond, if you've seen that on our Broncos or other Signature Series models, but basically a really nice sort of slightly intricate stitch pattern, but just gives it that kind of next level of feeling of luxury and exuberance and all those good things. Right, speaking of luxury and things that are really cool, this custom center console, absolutely fantastic. It goes all the way across the transmission tunnel, all the way back. Lots to talk about here. We'll start with the top of it, which this thing is solid, absolutely solid, completely made here, really cool design, feels just really premium, doesn't wobble, doesn't shake, all fit nicely. The top of this has got some details in it. You do have that contrast stitching there, which is slightly lighter, and then that textile material, the fabric material I mentioned earlier as well. So where you're going to rest your arm as you're driving, just feels really, really comfortable. This is very premium too. You can open it up and you can actually see inside. The underside of it has been finished in Alcantara all the way around, so it's soft, so you don't scratch anything that you're putting in there. You do have some goodie bags in here as well. Or do you have trickle charger? All of our vehicles come with trickle chargers. You've got manuals and things like that ready to go home. In here too, you also have a USB-C and a USB 3.0 charging plug, so you can plug your phone in there and charge it if you want to, or your iPad or another device. You would fit an iPad in here quite easily, as well as you have your subwoofer control. So this vehicle features a full focal speaker system, and as part of our Heritage series, it's lifted up again, upgraded again, sounds absolutely amazing, and you have an extra sub control as well there in the cubby box. Moving forward, there's a couple of drinks holders, and this whole area has been fully trimmed out with that wooden paneling, just like around the instrument cluster on the outside of the vehicle. I mentioned before, you've got your electric window controls here for your driver, for your passenger, so that's nice. And then here, your shift boot, you've got that fully covered as well in that canyon leather, which is really nice. I've left my phone here and it's ringing, haha, as a demonstration, but this is a full wireless charging pad. See right there? Fully wireless, so it doesn't look like much, but as soon as you put it down, the truck's not on, so my phone's not going to charge. But if the truck was on, the ignition was on, it would charge there too. So really nice charging pad there. Coming up, you're going to notice that we've got an Alpine doubled-in touchscreen display in this one. So full Apple CarPlay. That's also hooked up to the rear view camera. So really nice. I like the position of these when you're driving, and I've done long distances in these K5s where I've had to use my nav. It's really, really nice because you're not having to like fiddle around down here or look here. It's just there, easy to follow, easy to use like in a modern truck. That also powers the focal speaker system that we mentioned before. So you've got speakers in the door panels, you've got speakers in the kick panels, you've got subwoofers underneath the seat, and you also have speakers in the rear side panels as well. So lots of speakers all the way around. This thing really is a party when you turn up the music. Sounds incredible. Above that, you've got a vintage air AC system. You'll have seen these in the trucks before if you've watched the videos, but basically brand new modern AC system. 3 simple controls. They work incredibly well. I've got vents on the driver's side and on the passenger side. side, 2 vents in the middle. You could also have the cooled seat option retrofitted in this vehicle if you wanted to, if you wanted even more cooling capacity. But honestly, with these trucks, the vintage air AC system works brilliantly well. Dash pad's all done as well in that canyon leather. And then look up here, we've also got really nice sun visors. And then I mentioned that top. A couple of people always ask about kind of, hey, how do you fit in a K5? Like, what's the space? What's the legroom? I think I'm pretty much, I have some more adjustability. I do. So this is all the way back. For reference, I'm 5'10". So if I kind of just get myself adjusted, there is tons of room in these K5s, and this truck doesn't have the seat extender. We also offer what we call a seat relocation kit, so you can get even further back. If you were taller, even if you were like 6'2", 6'3" or above, you would still have plenty of room in this K5, loads of space to stretch out. It's really nice. But for me, I need to be a little bit more forward. You do have backrest control as well down here, so you got all that adjustability that you would expect. Right, let's go talk about the drivetrain, because this thing's got a monster under the hood. All right, let's open the hood up and talk you through what's going on underneath this truck in terms of drivetrain, chassis, all that good stuff. We'll start with the engine. It's a 6.2 litre V8, so it is the LT1 from Chevrolet. GM, it's a brand new crate engine, lots and lots of power, about 460, 470 horsepower by the time we're done with them. But basically a modern, very comfortable, powerful engine to drive, especially with this Chevrolet power plant, GM power plant. Keep saying that. I think it is actually technically a GM power plant, but of course they're all the same. Anyway, they have lots of torque at the bottom end. So the Coyotes, they produce a lot of their power. We use them for the Fords in the top of the rev range. LT, lots more power in the lower rev range. So these are really a hoot to drive, especially in the C10, which is the lowered street truck of kind of this era. They're really fast. They're really fun. So that's the engine, LT1, 460 horsepower, 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds, all that good stuff, but very easy to maintain as well. Any Chevrolet or GM dealer is going to know what this engine is because they are installed in their modern vehicles and they're going to be able to work on them and service them. Behind that, you've got the 10L80, which is a 10-speed automatic transmission. It comes coupled. Again, brand new. Both of these components are brand new from the manufacturer. And the 10L is just a super quick shifting transmission, which you want in a truck with this much power. But it just means that when you're on the highway, you're not at the top of the rev ranges when you're normally cruising 70, 80 miles an hour. No problem. 100 miles an hour plus if you want to. That transmission is going to handle it, no problem. You've got Hydro boosted disc brake system all around by Willwood, so 4-wheel disc brakes all around this truck. And for the chassis, it's a brand new falling coilover chassis by the guys at Roadster Shop. So they partner with us on all of our vehicles, and it's an RS chassis underneath. If you know RS, you know they're pretty much the best in the business. They do all of our chassis, and this truck drives incredibly well. There are lots of videos of me driving K5s. You'll be able to find them on the YouTube channel. Unfortunately, I'm not going to drive this one. We just don't have time today. But I promise you, it drives absolutely incredibly. We do have billet hood hinges as well. Underside of the hood has been painted, as has the firewall. But we've left the inside black just so that you don't have to worry so much about scratching it if you are going to get in there. There's a lot of space in the Chevrolet engine bays, a lot of space to get that LT1 in there, but it doesn't mean that we should be sloppy with our installation. I hope you would agree the actual way the guys in our mechanic department have fit this engine is just really sublime. It looks OEE plus, it looks OEM, it looks like it was meant to be there. So that's really nice. It does qualify for our 2-year bumper to bumper warranty, and you could also extend that warranty to 4 years. We have that program and availability. It also does qualify for financing for our partners at Woodside Credit. So if you're looking for more flexible payment options, you can do that with those guys too. The information, if you're looking on the sale page, on monthly payment estimates and stuff like that, is going to be further down. Scroll down. Right, if you have any questions, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment below. If you're watching on Instagram, leave us a comment or send us a DM. And if you are on the website, pick up the phone, give us a call. If you've got anything that I've missed on this truck and you want to know more about it, or you want me to go and shoot you some more pictures of it, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.